Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle. Yeah, how's it going, guys? It's a Veteran Chat Project, first and ever solo chat. So we're gonna see how this goes. Yeah, I'm here. So we're gonna get straight to it, I guess, and chat a little bit about where we picked up last week or where we stopped last week. Let me pull it up. Sorry, I wasn't really actually expecting to go on alone. So give me a second, and we'll get it squared away. Show goes on, right? We adjust fire and we do what we have to do. That is what we believe in here. So, last week we talked a little bit about exploring challenges and rewards of intentional living, which is funny. Um, but yeah, man, I think we wanted to go into a little bit about relationships and not necessarily like telling you how to do things and stuff like that, but more importantly, just some guidelines for those of us who struggle with our own mental health. It's very important that it does not bleed over into our relationships. Some people will say that maybe, um, maybe it's not a good thing to get into a relationship if you aren't really all there or working on it. I say if you find that person that's willing to work with you as much as you're willing to work on yourself, then fucking go for it, man. Because life can be a whole lot better when it's not alone, And yeah, man, I appreciate you guys. Sidetrack again. This will be probably a little shorter than some of the episodes. Maybe have to do some restructuring after this. I don't know. I have actually no idea what's going on at the moment. So, with that being said, hang on. Let me set up again. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. And yeah, dude. So, navigating relationships while working on your mental health can be challenging, but it is possible with good communication, self care, and setting boundaries. That's that's important, dude. The self care is really important, and then setting boundaries isn't like making laws, right? It's like setting boundaries. It's healthy boundaries. It's okay to ask for space when you need it. It's okay to ask for time for yourself. I encourage my wife to do this all the time. When she's like, "Oh, I want to do this," or "I never get to do that," I'm like, "Oh, go do it." It's important because everyone's got mental health issues or hangups or whatever. So uh, number one is going to be communicate your needs. There's that word, communicate. The most effective tool you could possibly have in any relationship. This isn't like your wife or your spouse. I mean, this is in your friendships. Anything. Communication is important. If somebody's fucking doing something that you don't like, let them know so they don't go on doing it. And if you don't care, then let them know. And you're just like, hey man, I don't think I want to fuck with you no more. It's that bored. But that's a different story. Be open and honest about your mental health challenges with your loved ones. That's huge too because yeah, you have to be honest about like not just with your loved ones but with yourself. Let them know what you're going through and what support you need. Effective communication can help them understand your situation better and provide the necessary understanding and assistance. So, I mean, they might be able to help you, you know, find some different resources, offer you some different outlets, maybe that you didn't think about before. So, I mean, yeah, all that shit could be really good, man. Again, it's really hard not doing this with a partner. So, yeah. Set boundaries. It's gonna cruise right through this shit, man. It's really gonna be fucking pointless, but whatever. Set boundaries. It's crucial to establish boundaries to protect your mental well being. I'm gonna stop for a second. My week was all right. For those of you that tuned in last week, I decided to stop smoking weed. It kind of threw me through a mental loop this last weekend. I had some stressors. I'm still kind of dealing with them. I'm just a little less okay with dealing with everything. I'm doing good. I've been going to the gym. I've been getting off my ass. I've been doing really, really, really working hard on like feeling the feelings that I haven't felt in a while, and working on processing them. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. When I decided to come on, I was just gonna run with it. I'm not gonna let anything dictate what I feel like we're doing. You know, I wanted to be on a half hour ago so I could potentially spend some time with my family tonight. And, you know, she's probably going to be asleep when I get done. So, hey, I still love it. I might have to take a break and figure out what's going on again because I'm alone. So yes, setting boundaries is part of that communication. Alder, if you try to share what you need to help the situation and the other person won't let that happen, it is tough to keep going. Yeah, especially if they're like against it almost. You know, like there's if that's the case, then it's probably not the right situation. Let's just be honest there. So yeah, set boundaries. It's funny you said that. It's crucial to establish boundaries. I said that already. Did I? I don't know. Crucial to establish boundaries to protect your mental well being. Clearly communicate what you're comfortable with and what you need space for. Again, you know, just be like, hey, I need 5 minutes to myself. I need, I need to go for a drive. I need to go sit out in the garage. I need to go whatever, just ask for it. If your spouse, if your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever it is, if they're the one, if they care, they'll respect that. They will. If you tell them in a nice way, is what I've learned. I also have the habit of saying things in a not so nice way, which is something I'm really working on now since the trying to lay off the lechuga de diablo. So yeah, man, clearly communicate what you're comfortable with and what you need space for. For example, you may need time alone. Reduce social commitments. That's me for sure. I just don't like being out. Like, I don't like having social commitments, really. So specific triggers to be avoided. Respectively and assertively express your boundaries and ask your loved ones in support and honoring them. That's a big one. Again, support and communication. It's all going to fall back on communication for sure. Because without that first one, you're never going to get past any of this shit to even think about it. So if you're not communicating properly, you really need to work on that right away. So educate your loved ones. That's going to be a big one too. I'm going to keep saying that's going to be a big one because I'm nervous by myself, but they're all big ones. It's a big one. Educate your loved ones. Many people might not fully understand mental health conditions and their impact. Share educational resources or information about your specific mental health challenges. This can help them learn more and be more understanding and provide appropriate support. So yeah, communication. Again, it's having that support. This is, I don't know, man. I feel like a fucking idiot. I feel like a fucking idiot reading this one. Seek support from trusted individuals. So I mean, like, here's the thing too: is like when you start trusting people, you don't. It's hard to trust people. And I'll even argue this for myself. It's hard to trust people with your shit because you're always gonna feel like a burden. If you're constantly unloading your shit, you're always gonna feel like a burden to those who you're always, seeking. Like, if you're constantly bitching at the same person about your life, then they're gonna get tired of it, and they're just gonna be gone. So. Seek support from trusted individuals. Identify a few key individuals in your life who you trust and feel comfortable sharing your struggles with. Reach out to them when you need support or someone to talk to. Let them know how they can best support you during difficult times. Yeah, again, it's a fine line to tread because, you do that and then you catch yourself feeling like a burden. So I think most importantly is going to just get out of your own way. And do your thing, man, because at the end of the day, what else you got? So this next one's going to be huge. It's a big one again. And we'll go into a little bit of those self-care aspects with this one. So practice self-care. And I mean, even try to implement it with your spouse, or a friend, or I'll say spouse or whatever, but because we're back on the relationships of that. So yeah, practice self-care. You want to prioritize self-care to manage your mental health effectively. Engage in activities that promote your well-being, such as exercise, meditation, hobbies, or therapies. Me specifically, over this last week, definitely started working out again. I'd say 4 out of the last 5 days. I took a break yesterday. Did the shoulders real good today. Went actually and hit some batting cages for about 2 hours today, and now my back is it's not super dope or super happy with me about that, but that's what Advil's for. And I learned that I cannot hit a fucking baseball to save my life anymore. So that's dope. So there's work to be done there, as always. That's something I do. That's a hobby of mine that I used to have. Just going to the batting cages was huge for me, in a mental release of just like something to exert myself quickly and kind of you lock in on something else. Another thing I like to do is disc golf. I know I've talked about it before, but just getting outside, being in the sunshine, being in the fucking, just being in nature, dude, it'll fucking change your whole perspective. When I first started playing it again in Colorado, it's what actually fucking really started me towards just wanting to be healthier. Because I mean, I'm like they're trying to run these courses up in the mountains at like 10,000 feet and shit. I'm like I can't even breathe. Uh, I mean, not many people can breathe at 10,000 feet, but you can when you're not completely out of shape. So yeah, practicing self care, man, that's big. Hobbies or therapies. Therapies doesn't always have to be the therapy we're going to talk about later. Physical therapies. There's so much shit out there, you guys. Like one thing I want to try is like that them float tanks. It's like the salt float tanks where you go in there and it puts you in like a no light, no sound kind of space, and then you just like you float. It's like salt water, so it's so much salt that you're basically like you're weightless and there's no sound, so you can just I don't know. Some people would probably go crazy. I think I would love it. So when you're taking care of your mental health, you are better able to contribute positively to your relationships. So that, yeah, being able to get what you put in is huge. So been with someone who thought mental health was a switch. Communicating what you need is paramount. Yeah. See, actually, we just had this conversation the other day. Some people believe that mental health can just be turned on and off. Um, like it's just not like it's not a real thing. Like it's not a real diagnosis, right? So like something I heard, I listened to a lot of different books by Dr. Daniel Amen when he talks about the brain and just different ways of kind of as one of his like change your brain, change your life was his big one that I read. And basically, if I can get myself back on track. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's like a diagnosis, right? So it's like you get your eyes are fucked. You get glasses for them, right? Your legs broke. You put a cast on it. Obviously that's a little different, but it's a diagnosis. So I mean, like there is a medical fix for it. It's not gonna be a cure all, and with these other things, it's the perfect combination to get yourself out of a really negative mindset. That's something definitely I've noticed even just in the last week. Now you're good. I mean, I'm not really scripted. I only put like these bullet points, and then I try to just kind of go off of kind of like my own or our own deal. Kind of just, you know, uh, yeah. So, um, try not to let things out to my partner in short bursts, so I don't let that feeling. Yeah, that's another big one too. Is like, but I also don't see my wife often enough to really like, hey, this is wrong, this is wrong. Because I also don't want to fuck with her while she's at work because she's got a stressful job. So it's like I try not to bombard her with my shit, but uh, last weekend spent time in the pool, dude. That's the shit, man. Anyways, oh look who's here.
What's up, dude? What's up? How you doing? Sorry I'm late, man. But
Can't
had to
hear you.
take.
All right. Establish realistic expectations. Be realistic with yourself and others about what you can handle, especially during challenging times. Uh, yes, definitely be realistic about what you can handle because don't try to take on too much, basically, is what I'm saying. Know your boundaries, know what you can and can't do, know where you're going to fucking take those hits, know kind of start understanding those triggers. Understand really, if you can understand where your stress is coming from physically in your body, then you can actually look that up too and see. There's your body can tell you so much more about your stress than your mind actually could, which is crazy because you think that it's a mind thing, but yeah. So be realistic with yourself. Now, there's about what you can handle, especially during challenging times. And I know, like it's always a challenging time when you're working on your mental health. So, you know, just constantly communicate. I'll keep going back to that number one, man. Communication, 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 right? So, managing mental health can be unpredictable, and it's okay to adjust your expectations and responsibilities accordingly. That means that you can change your goals and shit. You know, if something's not suiting you, it's okay. It doesn't have to fucking be there. You know, if it's not suiting you, if it's not working out, something that you thought was going to be there for you as far as like a hobby or something that was going to help you, it's okay to put it down and try something else. It's okay to look for other outlets. It's okay. You know, just there's so many different things out there, you guys, to get out and do, and so many different groups to be a part of. Like if you're into something, really into something, you could find a group that's all about that shit. So yeah, managing mental health. Yeah, I said that. Communicate openly about any changes you might need in your relationship or activities you take part in. There's that word again. Communicate openly about any changes you might need in your relationship or activities you take part in. Huge. The communication. It's funny that it always keeps coming back to that, huh? So, um, this is a big one. Just because I believe that if you haven't, there it is a big one. If you haven't done this before, and this isn't, I mean, most of us as veterans probably have done this before, seen a therapist or a counselor. Maybe not the greatest ones if they've been attached to the VA, but yeah, man, it's okay. You know, I actually strongly encourage. I mean, I think it's not even me. I think it's strongly encouraged to go out there and seek help. And if you've never done it before, it might be not a bad thing. Just to not to say that like you're crazy and you need to check it, but no, man, like it might be okay to seek out a professional and just ask some questions, you know, and get a better understanding of what makes you tick, of what makes you untick, what makes you fucking lose your shit. Because, you know, for me personally, I don't know what it all is. I just know that there's a lot of shit out there that pisses me off. I feel like I could do like a whole like what grinds my gears from the Family Guy. You know, what really grinds my gears? Yeah, I could do like a whole another show on that. But so professional therapy or counseling can provide valuable guidance and support as you work on your mental health. A therapist can help you navigate relationships and provide coping strategies to manage challenges effectively. That's what I'm saying, man. Like it's okay. You know, that's what we're about here. It's all right. You can you seek help. It doesn't have to be professionally either. You can seek help just in a group of friends, and you know, again, seek support from trusted individuals. That's what you want to do. Do it, man. Just remember that not everybody is like ready to hear some of your shit, and that might not be their fault. Like they might not have some of the pain and the feelings that you've had in your life that make you feel like maybe you belong around me. You know what I'm saying? Like the shit that like attracts people to me, I've noticed is like we've been through the same pains and shit like that. So it's like it's like that glue that holds us all together. That's what that cohesive bond that that like lets us all know, like, you know, I've been through it, and I can help you out, but some people haven't, and you need to understand that if you're unloading some just horrific shit on somebody who's not ready for it, don't expect them to be able to help you, because you just introduced them to some trauma that they have never even thought of. So yeah, it's important to understand who you're talking to as well, and that's why a therapy or counselor can help you get a new perspective in just a real perspective, you know, like not just like not your brain. Not sometimes our brains lie to us, you know. So that's definitely one thing I deal with. And that's actually one thing that I could actually go a little bit into, because what they say in that Dr. Amen's book is automatic negative thoughts. Ants. So he calls them ants, right? And I know we went into this a little bit a while back, but I think we can go into it a little more just because I'm here. I'm only talking to Alder right now, and he likes me enough. So, automatic negative thought ANTS stands for automatic negative thoughts. The APA Dictionary of Psychology defines them as thoughts that are instantaneous, habitual, and non-conscious. So, like for me personally, when I'm really struggling with something, I always get this like it's like, fuck, man, like you can't never do this shit, or like nobody fucking likes you, and that's a real feeling I have because I mean I'm gonna be honest, dude, nobody fucking, not really many people do. I'm a special taste. I'm an acquired taste for people, and I've learned that throughout the years. People come and go, and it gets easier to take. Automatic negative thoughts are a concept developed by Dr. Aaron Beck, who introduced cognitive behavioral therapy. But it was Dr. Amen, a psychiatrist and brain disorder specialist, who coined the term ants in the 90s. Let's see, there we go. They basically, when he said it in the book, he basically was saying, so like one ant, right? And when I say ant, I'm talking automatic negative thoughts. So one ant isn't going to ruin your picnic, right? Oh, shitty day. Okay. Then you can move on from that, right? Couple ants going to slow you down for a little bit. Maybe fuck up your sandwich. Maybe get in your salad, ruin your fruit salad, something like that. Then then they're bringing the swarm. Then you got all the ants because you didn't know how to stop them. You didn't know how to talk to them, and that's something that he empowers you to do. He encourages you to talk to your ants, right? So, it's called like basically like, oh, what's the use of trying, right? Well, then you write that down, right? So write it down. What's the use of trying? Well, I got kids. There's a use right there. That's enough for me. So yeah, keep trying, keep pushing. You know, it's just shit like that. It's so easy to fucking talk shit to yourself, man. Especially if you're like me, and it's just a constant battle. Yeah, man, you got to start getting rid of some of those automatic negative thoughts. Some examples they put here is like, oh, I'm just bad at math, which is like fucking everybody. What's the use of trying? I'm never going to college. I feel like nobody appreciates me. I should attend the party or else I'll feel left out. I mean, like, dude, you ain't missing shit at the party. I promise you that. How to identify them. You could teach kids and teens common manifestations of negativity in addition to the sample statements above. Negativity can present as headache, stomach ache, dizziness, refusal to talk, forgetfulness, being critical to oneself. Like I'm talking like right there, what I just said is my whole fucking childhood right there. So yeah, man. Definitely some good information on them ants. And I'll go over I'll go over it really quick, and then I'll you know what? Here, I'm just gonna fucking paste this in there. Why don't you just jump in here, all there? All or nothing ants. When you assume something is completely good or bad, the negative thought leads young people to believe that anything less than perfect is unacceptable. Words like always, never, no one, everyone, and shouldn't. Focusing on the negative ants. This ant puts your focus on the things that happen wrong instead of the positives. Focus on the negative can make a teenager susceptible to anxiety. So now we're just going on about teenagers. Fortune telling ants, that's the one I wanted to get on. So these are the ones like negative thought, increased tendency to predict the future. So like, oh, this isn't going to work out. This is going to fuck up. Being fully convinced that you're going to fail a class, that you're not going to do good. I mean, shit. Even me, when I think about this podcast, I'm just like, still every day, I'm like, I don't think, I mean, I have to beat those negative ants just because I have anxieties about even getting up and doing this shit every day. But it also helps me. So, Yeah. Blaming ants. This is another one that I feel attacked by. I'm attacking myself right now, you guys. So, fortune telling ants, blaming ants. This ant involves blaming others for things that go wrong. Even when a child does something that may have caused a negative event, they refuse to take responsibility to avoid the consequence. He made me do it. They started it. It wasn't my fault. Just because, they did this, then, you know, I couldn't do that, and that's not the case. What's up? So yeah, let's see. Less than ants. Your child, we'll just say you, you could think of yourselves as not good enough or talented enough to compare to others. Younger kids usually make comparisons at a physical level. I mean, honestly, like everybody does that shit, dude. Everyone's gonna, they're gonna make those comparisons to themselves at another. Am I just?
Do I have an echo?
My headphones haven't been on this whole time. Well, I guess it doesn't matter when I'm not talking to anybody. Oh shit. Mind reading ants. Yeah. So mind reading ants. This ant assumes that you know what others think about you. Again, I'm attacking myself. Oh shit. So yeah, I mean these are all things you got to work on. You got to get rid of those ants, man. Labeling ants, characteristic of a person like I'm dumb, I'm nobody. I'll be happy when ants. Once I do this and I'll do that. That's like it's also a downfall of having a life based on too many goals. I think too is like you think you're gonna be happy when you spend all this time and do all these things and or like for me personally like I think I'm gonna be happy when I get to the army because I'll be proud of what I achieved and it's like like I mean I am but at the end of the time that's not the end of it so it's like a false peak. I don't know. That's my take anyway.
Yeah, that's how I
Um,
was when I got out.
yeah. Well, I mean, like, yeah, I'll be happy once I get out, and then like obviously you have that honeymoon
That
phase,
honeymoon phase, yeah.
and then yeah, and then it's like, well, I'll be happy when I get this job, and then you get the job, you're like, well, I'll be happy when I get this apartment, I'll be happy when I get another $1 an hour raise or whatever. It's like, just be happy now. Fuck that. Fuck wasting time being unhappy over some bullshit. That's where I'm at, right? That's where I'm trying to be at right now, but. And then taking things personally, ants. Maybe I need to read this book again. um. So yeah, dude. Let's talk about what was that book you said?
Oh,
God's
God's
Angry.
Angry Man. Let me pull it up again. I'll read you the whole synopsis thing. Do, 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 do. Yeah, I read this for about 8 years ago, I think now, 9 years ago. Let's see. It says, to all who knew him, Joe Hahn was larger than life, but he was also deeply scarred. The death of his mother at a young age, a childhood spent in a bleak orphanage, years as an indentured farm servant, riding the rails with hobos and criminals during the Great Depression, working in a remote CCC camp along the Canadian border. I'm not sure what that was, I don't remember. And violent combat experiences during World War II. To express his deepest feelings, Joe used many creative outlets, writing poetry and music, as well as playing the guitar and the harmonica. And I think, if I remember correctly, he ended up doing all kinds of odd jobs and ended up living in Houston after the war,
Huh.
being a steel worker and all kinds of stuff. This dude went through a lot.
That is
And I
pretty
was like,
cool.
man, just reading his whole life story, I was like, man, I can't imagine going through that kind of stuff.
They made it a film, 1981 film.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I just googled it. Directed by about Gene Scott, a U.S. pass. Is that not him? Oh yeah, served for almost 50 years as an ordained. Oh no, this must not be about him.
Okay.
Scott? No. Yeah, I wonder if it is it on Audible because I can't read. No, I'm
I
just
don't
kidding.
think so.
I can read.
When
I
I
might
looked it
be. You
up, it
never know
was
with
like
me,
hardback and paperback.
fuckers.
But let me see. Nope, not that. can never remember which button to push. There was that one, and Becoming Human was another book that I read a couple years back, and it was basically like, if I remember correctly, it was just explaining how to deal with humanity and how not to let it get to you. And that was like a big one for me at the time. Like, obviously, I've forgotten a lot of what that book was. I think I actually have that book here.
I want to definitely.
But it's
I can
there- there-
fucking read, man. I've been reading. I just don't like to. They should have put all them fucking them tank manuals on tape, bro. I would have listened to that shit in my sleep. I'm just kidding. Caustic
No,
Prophet, though.
I can't remember if I've talked to y'all about this before, but I talk about it at work a lot. Is one of the things that I miss most about the Army is all the downtime we had that I could actually read a book. Like,
Yeah, I
I
wish
don't
I
know
read
how many
books
books I read when I was in the Army.
I think the only books I read while we were deployed were the Tucker Max books. Remember those?
Yeah.
I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell, and he's got a couple other ones, but only two of them are really funny. One of them's got a story in it where he like shit his pants in Austin.
Oh.
And he was like running, but it was like way more than the story. He's like, dude, his toilet was broke. He had to go down to the lobby. It's like 2 a.m, so it's like only the cleaning lady in the lobby. He like shits all like as he's running across. He's like flinging, like hot dookie all over the place. Like this story's fucking hilarious. We also put it into the movie that they made about it too. But yeah, dude, that was funny. I read that book like 3 times while I was deployed. But I can read
one of the
people
books
being
that I read
assholes.
was The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Like, all the books in that series, they were all in one book. Those were good.
Dude, I watched this movie the other night on Amazon. And it's called A Knock at the Cabin. Have you seen that?
I think I've seen the trailer for that, yeah.
Dude, that shit's fucking rocked my world, bro. I mean, it's pretty slow. I didn't realize that was fucking... I just looked it up, dude. It's got fucking Rupert Grint, Harry Potter, redhead kid. Ron Weasley.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even realize.
Yeah, that's why I know that, yeah.
And it's got Bautista in it, too, and he did really good.
Mm-hmm.
Really good, actually. A Knock at the Cabin, dude. That was fucking wild. Basically, my synopsis would be, so it's like this couple, they're a gay couple, they're like staying in a cabin, like an Airbnb with their daughter, and it starts out, the daughter's like out catching grasshoppers, and then Bautista just like walks up through the woods, and he's like, it's super creepy, right? Because that's like how the movie starts, and here's this giant man talking to this little girl, like, and he's being really nice. He's not being super weird, but it's like the music makes it weird,
Mm-hmm.
And then like all of a sudden the other 3 people kind of show up, and they're like, she's like, what are you guys doing? He's like, basically he's telling him, like, you guys are gonna have to make a choice today, and it's gonna be really hard. He's like, but I don't want to scare you. He's like, we need to go in and talk to your parents, blah blah blah. And then like, like she ran inside, and like he's like knocking on the door. He's being really nice, but he's basically like telling him, he's like, one of you has to die today to prevent the apocalypse, and the only way you guys can die is if one of you chooses which one dies of you 3, right? And these 4 people are chosen by God with vision, so they have to go in there and convince these people that they are stopping the apocalypse by sacrificing the husband or one of the husbands or the kid, right?
Yeah.
Fucking wild, dude.
Now, does it come off as wild, or does it come off as crazy religion stuff?
No, it comes off as just like, because right, so he's like, if you don't, right, so he's like, he asks him, because it has to be at a certain time, because these 4 people got their visions and came together out of randomness, so like, and then they just showed up, and then like Bautista's like, I'm a 2nd grade teacher. He's got like kids, it's like pictures of his kids. He's like, He's like, I'm not here because I want to be a killer. And like they're all crying and shit. They're like, I don't want to do this. It's like we have to do this, but they're still not like 100% sold that they're even supposed to be there. They're just still
Oh,
going off the fact that they're together. They all made these weapons or whatever. So
like it's just
basically,
too much of a coincidence to think that
yeah,
one of them is
like
crazy.
yeah, like the one lady was like, I've seen my kid burning. Like I've watched my kid burn like 100 times over and over. You know, he's like, but it's not real. But it's like they're so if they say no, then one of them gets killed. One of the four people gets killed, and one of the four
Oh wow.
people brings a plague. So each of the four people brings a plague,
Oh,
right?
so like
So
each one of them is the four horsemen, and they don't even realize it.
yep, until the
Oh, that's
end.
crazy.
It's
Okay, I'll
fucking,
have to
I'm
go check
sorry
it
if I
out.
ruined it for you, but it's so good, dude. Like
Yeah.
I get it's at the end I was like, oh, because like one of them's what is it like nurturer the whatever, and it's like,
Hmm.
dude, like that's fucking so dope. It was such a good movie, and it like really fucking blew my mind. Well, I guess I didn't spoil it because you don't know how it ends, or the like, dude, that's wild, dude.
Yeah.
Like especially when they killed the first dude, I was like,
Speaking of
they did it.
apocalypse, have you seen Good Omens?
Uh-uh.
I think it's on Prime. It's a like a mini series, and basically it's like an angel and a demon. They've lived on Earth since the Garden of Eden, and it's time for the apocalypse. And they've lived on Earth for so long that they're like, yeah, we don't want this to go away. So they like band together to stop the apocalypse. And it's got David Tennant and I forget the other guy's name, but they just work perfectly together, and it's so funny.
Huh. Yeah. I'll have to watch that shit. But I mean, yeah, I think that's all I got for tonight, man. I gotta figure out. I guess I didn't hear KZ when he was talking, when he popped on for that 2 seconds, but he could have stayed
I heard him
longer
say
and
something
stuff.
about sorry I'm late, and then it cut out again. I'm like, oh, he must be having internet issues.
No, I ain't heard from him all day. All right, yeah. So I guess that's all I got. Yeah, he I don't know. He said he was doing groceries at like 8:20, and then you saw what time he got on. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe he'll be here next week. Maybe he won't. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. I will.
I wasn't last time, and I was like, oh crap. I jumped in for like 5 minutes or whatever, or 5 seconds or whatever, and I was like, okay, I gotta just make sure they're okay. And then I jumped back off.
Yeah, last week it was a good one. You can always listen to him too, or you probably still watch it.
Yeah, I watched it on YouTube the next day.
Yeah, I thought last week was a really good one. I liked how it came out. Oh, I was a little fired up last week though.
Yeah.
But hey, I am 5 days off the greenery. I do miss it. So, but I have a jar.
I
I
know,
just
I
keep
know,
all
I
my
know
weed
it's
in,
I know it
and every time
sucks,
I want
but
one, I go
at the
outside
same
and
time, you got to
unscrew the
take
jar,
that
and
that.
I huff it, and then I put the jar back and I put it away. But I gave away all my pipes and shit, dude. I ain't got nothing to smoke out of, so I'm just like,
All right.
I don't want it. It's a waste of money. I got through my first couple
Yeah,
days, and I've been steaming it out, working it out in the steam room, and getting all that gook out my body. I got the lung butter coming up now.
yeah.
Every
I
time I
did
go in the
the. I
steam
don't know
room,
if you
it's like,
saw my
oh,
comment earlier. I went and took like just a day away. Went to a hotel and just like, dude, I fell asleep at like 7 p.m. and didn't wake up until like 6 the next morning. I was like, oh, it's so nice.
fuck yeah, dude.
But yeah, I did a couple of laps in the pool, just to like because the water makes you feel a lot less weight. So and then the next day I was hurting, but I was like, man, I should do that again.
Yeah, you should look up the float tanks, dude. You gotta try that.
Yeah, that's what
I
made me
want to
think
try
of
that.
it. I need to find out where a YMCA is close by so I can like go there and do a couple laps or something.
Yeah, or just any rec center.
Yeah.
Like I got a we go to mine. The one I got's expensive, but I also can take my kid to daycare while I'm there, which is nice
Hmm.
because I stay at home with them. So I take them and drop them off, and then work out for 2 hours, and then pick them up. But I think I'm about to play some Call of Duty.
That sounds good.
I might. I don't really ever play it. I don't even know if it's still downloaded on my computer. Let me check. Oop, yep,
I
there
think
it
I
is.
saw Xbox or PC or something like all the Call of Duties have all been re-uploaded, like all of them, and I'm like,
Yeah,
oh man,
yeah. All the old servers are up too.
yeah.
Like so, like I remember I seen a video, TikTok video. It was like like all the little kids, or like all the Fortnite Warzone kids, and it's like all like these, like the, I don't know, it was like little kids up here, like little thing, and then like all of a sudden like the like, bong bong, like last online 7 years ago, last online 8 years ago, last online 9 years ago, and it's like, move over, bitch. We're back. Kids are about to start getting fucked up in those servers.
Oh yeah.
There's some true champions from that time. That's why I stopped playing that shit.
I love watching those like kids reaction videos, and like one of them was like they're playing like Golden Eye on Nintendo 64, and they're like, "Why can't I see anything? Where's my radar?" I'm like, "Oh, you guys are so spoiled."
Dude, that's on Switch. You can actually download it on Switch right now if you got a Nintendo.
I need to get
Switch.
one of
That
those.
thing's pretty cool. I got one.
Every time I go into Best Buy, I like stop and play it for like 5 minutes.
It's a cool little thing. It doesn't have a whole lot of games, but like the Mario games on it are a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And it's got the show. I play baseball on it. It's way shittier than on my PC, but it's not next gen. The show 23 isn't next gen, so it's like not for PC yet, or it's not for PC. It's for next gen, but it's not for PC. I'm like,
Hmm.
let me get a motherfucking show. Come on. I can play it on Xbox Game Pass though, but I can only cloud game it, so it's streaming it basically, and it's not very good. I don't like that shit. But I'm gonna jump off, man. Appreciate you
All
popping
right.
in here and chatting with me.
Yeah, no problem.
I don't know. I'll be back on Thursday. I might have to do some restructuring. I don't know what happened. But later,
All right.
guys. I appreciate you, Alder. And
See ya.
yeah, bye.